Hello YouTube, this is Dead Cell. Welcome to the Ubuntu Server 18.4 FTP server build. So let's go ahead and get started on this server build. I'm going to go ahead and hop right in to my server right here, which I have in VirtualBox. So using your keyboard, you pick the language that you're going to use. In my case, it'd be English. Your keyboard layout, I'm just going to leave it default, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then I'm going to install Ubuntu, which is the server. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that default and hit enter. And we're going to go ahead, default again, hit enter. If you're using any kind of proxy or whatever, you might want to configure that now. If not, then leave it empty and just go next. We're done. We are going to use the entire disk, so go ahead and hit enter. We're going to use the VirtualBox hard drive that I'm using, but if you're doing this on an actual PC or /server, then use whatever hard drive that you want to allocate as your operating system. So in my case, I only have one hard drive, so I'm going to go ahead and go with that option right there. And now we're going to go ahead and create it. It's going to warn you, but that's alright. Hit continue and go for it. We're going to go ahead and name this. I'm just going to go ahead and name it, well, I'm going to give it my name, Dead Cell. So on this part of the video, I had to kind of redo it over because I ran into a little bug. Apparently you can't use the arrow keys to tab down to fill into the next, or else you get kind of an error. So I had to redo it. You have to use enter to move down to the next line. So I filled out my name and server name. I'm going to pick a username, which is going to be, of course, Dead Cell. And then my password. Alright, awesome. I'm not going to use that. So, I'm done. Hit enter. Now it's installing the server. This should only take a moment. Alright, so the server is finished installing now to the hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my virtual machine here so I can actually hit enter and reboot. So it's going to go ahead and reboot now. Hit enter to eject the disk, and it should reboot, and we should have a server. Alright, so I'm at the login for my server, so I'm going to go ahead and use my username to log in, and password. And there we go. We are now logged into the server. I am going to go ahead and give myself root permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and type in sudo. Type in my password once again. And we are now root. I'm going to go ahead and do updates. apt-get update. It's fetching everything from the repositories right now. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and upgrade by going ahead and installing the updates by using the command apt-get upgrade, and Y for yes to accept that we want to do this action. Now it's installing. Alright, now that the server is done doing its update, we're going to install a couple things that it needs. One being SSH. So we're going to go ahead and install SSH now with the apt-get command. Oops. Make sure I spelled that correctly. Yes, I did. And go ahead and install that. SSH is now installed on this server and it's ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hop from my server onto my desktop. Let's go ahead and switch the view here. Alright, now we are now on my desktop on Windows 10. I know, I'm using Windows. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and use SSH here to log into my server. But you know what I should have did first before actually switching over here? So let me switch back to my server. There's one thing I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and type in if config. We need that IP address that I can't point to, but it's 164. So alright, cool. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to my other screen. And click on my CMD. So SSH me at that IP address was 164. And we're going to go ahead and do that. Yes, I would like to connect. Password. And there we are. We're in the server now. I'm going to go ahead and make myself root by doing the sudo su command. Alright, awesome. So now I'm going to go ahead and update the repositories again. Now we're going to install a couple programs. One we're going to need is a text editor, so I'm going to go ahead and install Vim. There we go. Vim is installed. Now I'm going to go ahead and install FTP on here. So yes to accept. There we go. So now we need to go and configure the FTP config files. So we need to go ahead and change directories to the etc directory. So now that we're in the etc directory, I'm going to head and list. And we are looking for this right here, the vsftpd.conf file. So we're going to go ahead and vim that. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and, using the mouse here, we're going to scroll down till we see a certain command that I'm looking for, which is right here, which is called write enable equals yes. I'm going to hit A for insert mode, and backspace to delete that hash mark, enabling the code to become active, because any hash marks in Linux disables a code. So now we're going to hit escape on the keyboard, Shift, WQ for write and quit, hit enter. That is now active. We're going to go ahead and reboot the server. So we're going to type in reboot. I'm going to switch over to the other screen so you can see the server coming back online. Normally I'll tell you to ping the IP address to watch it come, but since we're doing it here in VM, I'll just do it this way so you can actually see it. Alright, so server is back up. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my terminal. And we're going to go ahead and push up to log back in. Now that we're back into the server, I'm going to go ahead and do the list command. So you can see that there is no directories made. We need to make some directories here. Since this is going to be a server, I really only want to do maybe 3 folders. I might do a couple. I don't know. I'm just going to do 3 for now, just to give you guys a basic idea. So we're going to use the mkdir make directory command, and we're going to do doc u mince. Holy, misspelled that. There we go. And go ahead and do that, and then we do ls to list. You'll see that it's there. I'm going to go ahead and do the mkdir command again, and we are going to add down loads. So go ahead and add that. ls to confirm that it's there. It is. So the mkdir space. I'm going to do up loads. And go ahead and make that ls. It's there, and one more directory. We're going to go ahead and make a public directory as well. So let's go ahead and do the mkdir space public and ls to list. There we go. So now that I have that up and running, I'm going to go ahead and open up my FTP client, which is FileZilla. Let me go ahead and do that now. There it is. And let's switch screens so you guys can see. Now I'm going to type the IP address of my server in there, which should be showing. There it is. I was looking on my other screen to see what the IP address was. Alright, cool. So it's 164. Alright, cool. Tab over. Tab over. And go ahead and connect. As you can see, here are the directories that we just made. And just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and upload the Ubuntu to the uploads. Actually, I'm going to put it in public. So right there, and we're going to go ahead and grab and drop. And as you can see, it is uploading at a very fast rate. I love my new PC, by the way. And that would be a successful FTP server that we just built on Ubuntu. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. And if we go back over here on my terminal, or CMD, let me switch screens here. And click back on it. Let's go ahead and clear this out real quick. Nice and clean. ls. Let's see, I put that into public, right? So let's go ahead and change directories to public and ls. And as you can see, there is the Ubuntu ISO file right there. So let's go ahead and just power off this machine. Oh, I have to make myself root first. So sudo command, sudo su for root. There we go. And let's go ahead and power it off. And now that it's shut off, that would be the end of my video. I hope you guys all have a nice day. Later.